Captain, we're caught in the collapsing star's gravitational field. We'll never escape it with our damaged thrusters. What are your orders?
My orders, Yasaki, are to take the ship to Joey's auto repair and massage therapy clinic. Whether you have a bad thruster or a back buster, Joey's has you covered. Thank Christ. Jesus. Wait, I can't do this shit.
Yeah, I'm just gonna have to tell Uncle Joey this isn't working. Oh, hi there, Internet. I'm Adam Harrow, writer and director of a little sci-fi comedy web series called Transolar Galactica. Oh, thank you. 3 years ago, with the help of Kickstarter, we asked you guys to help us fund an entirely new season of our show, with better production value, bigger effects, and an overall impressive look and story. And you guys came through. You helped us raise over $30,000 to create awesome and new content. Boyd, where are we with all that?
What? Hi. I'm Adam Boyd. I'm the producer for Transolar Galactica and Kickstarter. Right, yeah. Hang on. Oh, here we go. Okay. So here's a quick rundown of all the content we've created since the Kickstarter. First, we created a 5-episode origin series that told the story of how each member of the inept Transolar crew came to be under the command of Captain Remington Trigger. In addition to the Origin series, we produced a behind-the-scenes series centered on the Origin episodes we titled On Deck. 5 episodes, each showing behind-the-scenes footage of their corresponding Origin episode and interviews with the cast and crew of Transolar. And speaking of behind the scenes, we also embarked upon a full-length documentary series that would follow the trials and tribulations of the Transolar crew as they attempted to make the next season of the show. Titled On Screen, this series currently has 3 episodes, which are extensive looks at the production process for the show, along with in-depth interviews from the cast and crew. To further round out the story of the Transolar crew, we've also produced 6 nano episodes. These episodes show several of the missing scenarios from Season 1's Kobrakashi Mecha Simulation Test. And as the simulation system begins to fail, strange things start to happen. The unique part of this miniseries is that elements of each script were influenced or decided by a select few of our Kickstarter backers and fans. And here's a big old crazy bomb I'm about to drop on you. We also created a Transolar Galactica video game called Robot Rundown. An old school 8-bit arcade shooter, Robot Rundown extends the Transolar story further and fills a gap between Season 1 and Season 2 of the show through the eyes of the ship's trusty Soulbot. Along with super fun gameplay, it includes over 20 minutes of video and story content. And it's available on all of these platforms. For more information, go to www.robotrundown.com. And on top of all that great content I just mentioned, we've also continued our On the Move series, showing us taking Transolar on the road to Comic-Cons and film festivals across the country. And we've released several special videos and other content like storyboards and concept art. So, all the content that I just listed totals over 2.5 hours of Transolar goodness. That's practically a short Peter Jackson film. And we did it all for $30,000. But it's not about quantity, it's about quality. And I'll let Clancy explain that while I take this phone call. Hey, Uncle Joey. It's going great. Hey, you had mentioned something about a check.
Good luck. Hi, I'm Clancy Bundy, co-writer and production designer of Transolar Galactica. My job on Transolar Galactica is to create the entire visual style of the show through the use of props, costumes, and set decoration. For Season 1, we were using everything from Goodwill supplies to a shit ton of airsoft material and spray paint to make the entire show. But thanks to your support through our Season 2 Kickstarter, I was able to add PVC piping from the Home Depot to that list. The biggest change, though, between Season 1 and Season 2 was our jump from green screens to practical live locations. With the resources we had after our Kickstarter, we were able to focus on set decoration and construction for the first time, which started to make the world of Transolar feel real. Not only were we able to put more into the art direction of the show, but we were able to change how the show was photographed.
And that's where I come in.
This is Jade.
And I'm Jade, and I'm the cinematographer. And this is the GH Poo. They say good things come in small packages. Well, that's a load of horse shit. I want that girth.
So this is the red camera we purchased thanks to your support, and the show looks fantastic. So thank you, supporters, and thank you, Jade. But it's not just about buying a fancy piece of equipment. It's about having the proper tools to create a really cool looking story world. Once we were free of the green screen and had the proper camera and the gear to make our show look cinematic, we had achieved our goal of taking Transolar to the next level.
But we still haven't made everything we promised in our Kickstarter.
Season 2.
We still have things we've yet to deliver.
Season 2.
And the Season 2 we talked about during our fundraising campaign has yet to be produced.
Season 2.
So you're probably wondering, what the fuck is going on? Yeah, Uncle Joey is pissed. The script we had written for the full Season 2 of Transolar Galactica was ambitious, to say the least. And we knew going into our Kickstarter that we might have to make some major script changes if we didn't make over $30,000. It was a struggle, but we did reach our goal. However, it had been our hope that we would exceed it, and that did not happen. We were faced with a choice: hack up our script or try to find money elsewhere, and we opted for the latter. Over the course of a year following the completion of our Kickstarter, we met with a number of different investors and applied for film incentive funding programs. Unfortunately, none of these resulted in more funding. Investors were skeptical in making their money back on a web-based program, a view that is very understandable. After all, the main reason we went to Kickstarter was to cut out the middleman investor and fund our own show right from the fans. Unfortunately, we weren't able to raise enough to create the project on the scale that we wanted. We also felt incredibly strongly about keeping our word to our fans that not 1 cent would land in our own pockets. Every dollar of our backers' money would go to Transolar, and we've stayed true to that promise. But with that comes other challenges. We still have to eat and have bills to pay. And so without additional funds from an investor, we've also had to work Transolar around our day jobs. The one thing we weren't going to do was return to crowdfunding, asking for more money after promising to deliver. To us, that wasn't right or fair to our fans. But we were also torn. The story we wanted to tell was in that Season 2 script, and cutting it apart to make it work for a micro budget would be soul-crushing. So we developed a plan B. We'd continue the Transolar story through episodic material. The Origin series, Robot Rundown, our Nano episodes, the Sci-Fi series, all those were scaled down and within the budget range of what we had raised on Kickstarter. We could shoot these things on the weekend and call in favors that would offset major costs that would be unavoidable were we to launch into the Season 2 production we originally envisioned. At the same time, we'd continue to attempt to attract the attention of someone to invest in the show to complete Season 2 as we envisioned it. That way we could still deliver content to the fans and make them feel like they had earned their money's worth, but also we wouldn't have to creatively compromise our vision.
So the Origin episodes kept us busy for a while, and shortly after we finished producing those, our cinematographer Jade Warpenberg was actually approached by a network television show, and he was asked to DP on that series. At the same time, we were approached by a development company about turning Transolar into a video game, and the gaming nerds that we are, we couldn't resist. Besides, we figured it would be a great way to both provide more Transolar story content in a new way, and also get the exposure in a brand new market. This also solved our missing cinematographer problem. Jade could work on the series while we made the game. Ultimately, it was a longer road than we expected to create the game, and drew on more of our resources than we'd hoped, which meant we inadvertently created delays for ourselves in producing more video content. However, we completed the game, and we're very proud of the result, and hope to someday create another game in an even larger scale. The game, along with our new content we were creating, did what we'd hoped, and it garnered the attention of several interactive web divisions of larger media studios. After attending some film, web, TV festivals, and winning awards for our new Transolar work, we were approached by a company looking to distribute Transolar in a much larger web market, and help with our marketing and outreach. This was it, our dream come true. Not only would Transolar take the next step, but this was our ticket to attracting investors to Transolar, and finally completing the Season 2 we had promised. So we started talks with this company, and began laying out a deal of how Transolar would fit under their established umbrella of various content. They were very accommodating to us as creatives, but they requested that we not publicize the deal until a contract was finalized, and an announcement could be handled by their PR team. This meant we had to keep the exciting news under wraps, even to our devoted fans. They also asked us not to publicly release any more content, so that any new Transolar material would be a part of the new deal. So basically we were stuck between a rock and a hard place, and we also knew that going silent might mean we'd lose some of our fans' interest. But we hoped that this new distribution deal would increase our fan base tenfold. So we spent the next few months discussing the deal and designing a release schedule of all of our Transolar content. A contract was actually written up and delivered to us to sign. But before we could sign it and return it, the deal just fell apart. Our contact and champion at the company left and went to a different studio, which is understandable, this happens all the time. But unfortunately in his transition, we were dropped off the original studio's radar and priority list. So our contract, having not been signed, was no longer good. It was a pretty crushing setback, and it was probably the biggest thing we've ever had to face as a team, because not only did we lose like a huge opportunity for the show, we'd also spent months of our time working on this contract and holding all of our content back from you guys. And I'm not gonna lie, that kind of took a little bit of the wind out of our sails for Transolar.
A saving grace for us, which has allowed us to stretch our Kickstarter dollars across 3 years of Transolar's development, has been our Legion membership program. So if you backed us on Kickstarter, you were automatically made a member of the Legion. But many joined along the way after our Kickstarter was long over, and those funds have kept us making content and paying operation costs all along. There was a drawback, however, to putting the Legion in place. We were exchanging funds for access to content, a paywall, and as time went on, we realized that only a small portion of our fans were actually Legion members. The majority of our audience and any potential future fans hadn't seen any of our new content since the Kickstarter concluded. It was as if we just stopped making content after season 1 for many people. Well, we've decided that if we're ever gonna grow Transolar into the show we dreamed it could be during our Kickstarter, we need to change things up. Starting at the beginning of 2016, so now, we will be releasing all of the content we've created since the Kickstarter on a regular weekly basis. The Legion membership will still remain intact, and all of our Legion members will continue to get early access and first looks at all our content we create well before it becomes public. The release schedule will include the Origin episode series, the Nano episodes, the Project Siphon series that is in production, the On the Move series, and the on-screen behind the scenes series. Along with releasing all this content, we're going to be working on all the things that are still outstanding from the Kickstarter. Psychic Power, Send in the Clones, Beam Aboard. If you backed us at a level to have your name, photo, or to actually appear in the show, we haven't forgotten about you. Since the Season 2 script we're developing is still up in the air, we'll be incorporating you instead into our upcoming Project Siphon series. You'll still be part of the Transolar universe as promised, just in a different part of the story. DVDs, Blu-rays, we realize many of you increased your pledge or have pre-ordered DVDs of Season 1 and 2 on the website. We still plan to deliver you a DVD or Blu-ray, and we'll be putting those together as soon as the Project Siphon is complete and in post-production. The DVDs and Blu-rays will include all of Season 1 and all of the content we've created up to this point. If you've earned yourself a limited edition Transolar Kickstarter disc, you'll be getting that as well. Fifth Element video. Thanks to 2 generous backers, we promised to recreate the taxicab scene from Luc Besson's The Fifth Element. We've come this far, we're not backing out now. That video will be to you as well.
At this point, it's about semantics. We've essentially created another season and a half of Transolar, just not in the format that we originally envisioned. And while it's taken us way longer to deliver on our Kickstarter rewards than we would have wanted, we are committed to delivering on every single reward.
The goal for the Transolar team now is to breathe life back into our long dormant show. It's the amount of content that is locked behind a paywall is incredible, and I'm sure that there are legions of fans inside and outside of the Legion membership who are going to be seeing this content for the first time.
Yeah, so basically we're relaunching the series. And all we can ask from you is to watch all the new content. We're really excited to finally get it to you guys and get it in front of you. All you have to do is kind of jump on the bandwagon, enjoy the show, share it with all your friends, get the word out there. Because if we can regain the energy we had from 3 years ago when we actually launched the Kickstarter, there's a very good chance we can actually get the funding that we need to create the Season 2 script we've wanted to make for so long. So, all we can really say at this point is thank you very much for your support and for getting the word out there. From the bottom of our hearts, Transolar would be nothing without its fans.
Thank you. Thank you.